How is it going, everyone? It's Caleb Lumberty here, and today we're going to be talking about The Haunted Mansion, the new movie that just came out in 2023. There's a couple different iterations of The Haunted Mansion. There was the one back in the day with Eddie Murray, and then there was another one that was like the Muppets version. I tried to watch the Eddie Murray one back in the day. I couldn't get into it. I never tried to watch the Muppets version. I just didn't really have any interest in it. But this one, I just found out, honestly, like about a month ago, and when I heard about it, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot, and I'm really glad I did, because it actually ended up being a really, really fun movie. I enjoyed quite a bit about this. I really enjoyed all of the acting, I enjoyed all of the writing, I enjoyed the storyline, and I enjoyed seeing all the different references to the actual Haunted Mansion ride itself, especially considering I was just riding the Haunted Mansion last year. So this was a really fun movie. It was really cool to see. It looks pretty darn good, and it had a lot going for it, and it had a fantastic cast, which it boggles my mind that Disney did not really advertise for this movie very well. I feel like the marketing for this movie was just very poor overall, because there's some really big names in this movie, but they just did not push it enough, in my opinion. But, I mean, you got names like Jared Leto in here, you got Owen Wilson, you got Jamie Lee Curtis, Danny DeVito, Rosario Dawson, you got Lakeith Stanfield here. Like, you got a lot of pretty big name actors, and they all do a fantastic job in this movie. The main character, who is played by Lakeith Stanfield, is wonderful. I absolutely love that character. And obviously there's Rosario Dawson, and she does a fantastic job playing Gabby. And there's even a kid named Travis in this movie, played by Chase Dillon, and even he does a fantastic job. Every single bit of the acting in this movie was perfectly on point and really well done. I absolutely love Danny DeVito's character. He plays a professor who has a heart condition, and he wasn't really supposed to go to the Haunted Mansion, but he ends up kind of sneaking his way in there, and his interactions with the rest of the group, it's just priceless, and he definitely gives off a lot of like dad vibes in this movie. He reminds me a lot of my own dad, with just the jokes he's making at inappropriate times, saying things he probably shouldn't, and it just ends up being a pretty fun time with Danny DeVito in there. I'm glad he's in this. And Jamie Lee Curtis was pretty cool also, as Madame Leota, I think is how you say her name. But yeah, I love this. I thought it was great, and I gotta say, I hope people will go and see this movie. I don't know how well it's going to do, just because, again, I don't think they marketed it very well, but this is such a fun time. It was just literally me, my family, and 2 other people in the theater, so it was pretty empty in there, so the theater experience was actually really good. So I really enjoyed seeing this on the big screen as well, but I definitely look forward to picking this up on 4K. There's a lot of, things in this movie that just look really, really good. The CGI actually looks pretty darn good in this. The main villain, he kind of looks a little bit off compared to everything else, just because he looks a little bit too cartoony, I feel like, compared to all the other characters and all the other ghosts. He looks just a wee bit too cartoony, in my opinion, but I still thought the main villain was done well. He's played by Jared Leto, and Jared Leto does a fantastic job as this villain, and I really enjoyed seeing him portray it. You can't actually really even tell it's Jared Leto, honestly. You can only really tell when they show, like, flashback pictures, because the ghost is, like, pretty, CGI'd up. So you can't really tell Jared Leto other than just his acting, and that's really all you can really tell. The story isn't mind-blowing or anything like that. The main villain, who is played by Jared Leto, basically is trying to get 1,000 souls so he can leave the Haunted Mansion and basically roam the earth again. And he needs one willing soul to basically come to the other side for him to be able to do that. So the people that are stuck in the Haunted Mansion, he's trying to convince one of them to come to the other side. And it's an interesting idea. It's nothing, like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking, it's nothing crazy. This movie, I would say, is pretty safe overall, but that's not a bad thing. It just made it a very fun movie. You kind of know what to expect, but it's just a good, fun popcorn time, and I think that it's a great movie for the entire family to enjoy. There's a couple scary moments, but I think that it's definitely, that they handle everything pretty well, to the point where it wouldn't, like, freak out kids too much. So I still think that this is a really good movie for the entire family. And honestly, this is just a really fun movie in general. It's a great popcorn movie. It's definitely something that you should go check out, and it's definitely worth your time, and it's definitely worth your investment. Also, I do want to point out probably the standout person to me, the standout actor or actress in this movie to me was Tiffany Haddish, who played Harriet, who was this psychic medium She was just really funny in this movie, and a lot of her lines just got me cracking up laughing, and I really enjoyed her in this. She did a fantastic job, and she just fit in so well with this kind of like cast of oddballs. You know, having Danny DeVito there, just kind of bouncing things off, and Owen Wilson being this Father Kent, who's I don't want to spoil anything about that character, but just a lot there, a lot of misfits, and it's so good. It's such a good match of characters, honestly. All these characters feel like they have such good chemistry, and I really enjoyed that. So, let's talk about that Rotten Tomatoes score. So, the critics gave this movie a whopping 39% out of 100. What movie did they watch? Okay, the critics are way wrong on this one. 100% wrong, dead wrong. No, this is not a 4 out of 10 movie. That is insane. I just saw that and that's literally my first reaction seeing that. Like, what were they thinking? Okay, apparently critics just don't like to have fun. The audience, on the other hand, gave this an 84% out of 100, so basically an 8 out of 10, and I would say the audience is actually dead on with this one. This is an 8 out of 10 movie. It's a fun time, it's safe, but you know what? It didn't need to do anything risky. It just needed to be a fun popcorn flick movie, and that's what it was. I really enjoyed it. Really, my complaints are very minor with this movie, and one of the complaints is that I just wish it would have been a little bit closer to Halloween. But I have a feeling that they were kind of worried about this competing with some other big hitters around Halloween, because Exorcist is also coming out this Halloween, and I feel like that's going to take quite a bit of the box office around then. So I get it, but still, I really think that this one is a great Halloween movie, and I don't know if the 4K will be released in time for me to watch it during Halloween, but hopefully it will at least be on Disney Plus by around that time, because I'd love to watch it again. I could definitely watch it again, because it is a fun time. So yes, this movie is an 8 out of 10. The audience has it exactly right. I enjoyed it. My brother also did enjoy it as well. We talked about it. He's the one who actually convinced me to go watch it, because he's just like, it's an 8 out of 10 movie. And if I know if he says it's an 8 out of 10 movie, then it's probably going to be pretty decent, because he doesn't like movies. So I heard him say that, and I was just like, all right, I'm going to go watch it. And I'm glad I did. Go check out Haunted Mansion. It is such a great time, and you will enjoy it. And if you don't blame me. I'll talk to you in the next video. You have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.